Hello everyone, welcome to area of a triangle. And no, I have not gone insane. I know that that is not a triangle, that is a rectangle, but come with me baby birds, I'll feed you. So here's how this is going to work here. Alright, let's just talk about the area of a rectangle first. Let's fill it up here. We're going to go here, and let's fill that guy. Alright, so remember we talked about area means all the stuff on the inside. So let's say that this is, I don't know, let's call the base of this thing, we'll call it 8 feet across. And we'll call it, I don't know, let's say 3 feet wide there. Okay? So when we did our formula for the area of a rectangle, we know that that formula is area equals length times width. We're going to call it area equals base times height. They mean the same thing. Okay? And we're figuring out how many square feet, how many squares would fit in there. Okay? So base is 8, and my height or my width is 3. 8 times 3 gives me 24, and don't forget your units. 24 square feet. You need that little 2 there to show that it is a square foot. Okay? Well, that is for this entire object. But let's see if you can tell me, what if all I wanted to know is the area of just this triangle? And I'll give you a second to think here. If the entire yellow thing was 24, the entire rectangle was 24, what about the triangle? Well, the triangle looks to be about half the size of the rectangle. So I would think it would be just taking 24 and cut it in half, right? So we would say that this is going to be, this is going to be 12, and this is going to be 12. 12 plus 12 gives us 24. And by looking at that, we've just built the formula for the area of a triangle. Okay? The area of a triangle formula, when I was a kid, my teachers wrote it like this: 1/2 base times height. So they would say, do your base times height and multiply it times 1/2. That was always very confusing to me. So when I start my kids off, I say area equals base times height. Now we know that this is not just a fraction line, it's a division line. That's what a fraction line is. Divided by 2. There is our beautiful area of a triangle formula. So we've got area of a rectangle, area equals base times height. Area of a triangle has one extra step. And we talk about this step here. This is important because what that divide by 2 is, if I just do base times height, I've just built a rectangle. Divide by 2 gets rid of that top rectangle and our triangle and just leaves us with this bottom triangle. That's what we want. We just want that bottom triangle. So let me show you a couple examples of some things I want you to be aware of here. So let's take a look here. Let's remember our formula once again, and we're going to write this down 1,000,000 times until we have it memorized. Base times height divided by 2. So we look at our base first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, we're not caring about how full these blocks are, we care about the line across here. So this is 7 across, and our height is always going to be the tallest point. So when I'm up on a mountain, I don't say that I've reached the top of the mountain here. The top of the mountain is way up here. It's always our tallest point. 1, 2. So base times height divided by 2, the area of this thing should be 7 times 2, which is 14. And 14 divided by 2 is 7, and there's our units. 7 square centimeters. That's the area of the triangle. 14 would have been the area of the whole thing. And we'll take a look over here. down on this problem here, Right next to it we have the area of a parallelogram. Well, our parallelogram is going to be a rectangle. I'm going to take that same triangle, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to flip it around. When I put it together like that, our old formula was base times height, but that is just for this four-sided shape here. Our base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our height is 2. Base times height is 7 times 2, which gives us 14 square centimeters. So 14 would be for that entire rectangle, but for what we're doing here, we just wanted the triangle. We need to divide by 2 to make sure it's just the triangle. By dividing by 2, we cut off the top piece. We don't want the top piece anymore. Cut it off, crumble it up, throw it away. We just want that bottom piece. One last triangle I want to show you. And that would be this guy right here. So once again, we're going to write that formula down, because the more we write it down, the more we are going to remember it. I know I'll remember, Mr. D. No, write it down. Keep writing it over and over again until you remember it. Base times height divided by 2. So our base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our base is 6 across. Now our height, on the other one, our height was right there on the edge. Well, if I did on the edge here, I'm still at the bottom of my mountain. My height is my tallest point on my mountain. So sometimes my height is right up there, and I need to drop straight down the middle here to figure out how tall it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So base times height is 24. 24 divided by 2 is going to be 12. Same thing as before. Let's take a look at this object here. I've already built it for you. Now remember, we were talking about base times height. This is a parallelogram, okay? Call it the slanted or the leaning rectangle. So our base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember, our height needs to be straight up and down. When you're measuring how tall somebody is, you don't measure them leaning over. We're not going to measure the leaning sides. We're going to go straight up from that line, almost form a T here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Base times height, 6 times 4 is 24. This should be double that, and it is. Okay, there are 24 squares in here. This thing's only half as big. There's only 12. So our formula for the area of a triangle, take it home, write it all over the place. Base times height divided by 2, and that is the area of a triangle.